There's nothing we can do. Look, Nicky's been captain of the club 4 years now. I think that's Nicky been here. He's been incredible for me. And you know what? Good luck to him. Good luck to him. That's why players come to the club. So I've got huge admiration, huge respect for Nicky. Love to keep him at the club, but I'm realistic to know I can't keep him at the club. He needs to go and try and get better finances for him and his family. I'm more than happy. We get to a stage in the relationship where I've done everything I possibly can, but do you know what? I understand the rationale behind it, and if I'm brutally honest, I agree with the rationale behind it. I don't like making it easy for players to leave the club, so I've done everything I can. I've been in his ear, I've done everything, but see, when you get the chap in the door and the player is really honest with you, and I think I've got a good relationship with Nicky, I understand the rationale behind it. So I'm disappointed he's leaving, but I totally understand it, and I think he's doing the right thing for him and his family, so he'll go with a big pat in the back, big handshake, and I wish him nothing but success in the future, because he's been absolutely phenomenal for me. I think Nicky's not going to be short of offers, and that's due to his performance levels over the next 4 years, and then when he maybe gets a contract from someone else, it's at least probably double his wages that he can get at Livingston. Why wouldn't he? So I'd love Nicky to sign, but I'm actively looking for a right back. I have been since the summer, January to be fair. I've been here many times, and players will. He's not resigned to leaving, but I think we've got to be realistic, and there's a huge chance that Nicky will not be at the club next year. But again, I've got no problem with it. There's certain players probably I would be reluctant to choose, knowing that they chose not to be at Livingston, or maybe there's a chance he wouldn't be at Livingston. Nicky's not one of them. Jack Fitzwater's not one of them. I've had it over the years with most players. Sean Byrne, Craig Halkett, Declan Gallagher. This is fairly normal procedure at Livingston. Liam Kelly. There's been a huge amount of players over the years that's probably not chose to extend their contracts. You kind of know that by the January if it's going to happen or not. But they've been fantastic for players for me in that period. He's a captain for a reason. He's a huge personality. He brings a lot to the club on and off the park. So I'll miss Nicky personally. I'll miss him on the park. I'll miss him off the park, as will the boys. But see, to be fair, Kerry, I've been in this situation every season. Every season is the exact same. It's probably a wee bit more prominent because you're losing your captain, but it's going to be a huge loss. But I think I trust my own ability. I trust the clubs in terms of the staff that we've got at the club to make sure it's a seamless transition with a new player coming in. And again, I'll reiterate, I've got Jamie Brandon in the building. I brought Jamie Brandon in knowing that this was potentially a scenario I was going to be facing this summer. But it's at a club our size, it's kind of fairly normal business. It's normal practice if I'm honest. Generally that's what you find. You feel when big players or bigger players leave the changing room, you've got a wee bit more continuity in there. Someone else will take, it's an opportunity for someone else to take. But we've got a really good dressing room. We've always had a really good dressing room, so I've no doubt the players we bring in will feel more than welcome within that, and I've no doubt that the players within that changing room will step up and try and cover the gap or the void that Nicky might leave. I've had it over the years. Craig Halkett was probably, Craig left. Again, John Guthrie came in, I think it was, and John was magnificent for us. Marvin Bartley left the changing room, albeit Marvin was still at the club, and Nicky stepped up to the plate. So I've no doubt in my mind that we've got players within the dressing room that can fill that void that Nicky might vacate. Scouting for me, the recruitment side of it, it's hard getting it right all the time, and nobody gets it right all the time, and there's an element of luck attached to that. But I've been looking for a right back, and you can see the thought process. Jamie Brandon came in the club in the summer. Nicky had a year left in his contract. I knew at that point there was a possibility Nicky would maybe not be here the following season, so I brought Jamie in to first and foremost compete for that right back position. But Jamie's now been in the building a year, so I've got a more than capable right back in the building at this point in time. But my recruitment never stops. You're constantly getting players put into you. You're constantly on the digital sites looking for players. So I've got a long list of targets, obviously. Levels and where we can recruit from, it's minimal at best, so to speak. But again, I've got Jamie Brandon in the building, so I'm not in any huge rush. But right back's one of many areas. I'm going to be looking for a right centre back. There's a lot of different areas that we're going to be looking for this summer, probably 4 or 5 if I'm honest. But we'll go about our business as we always go about our business. That money probably covers losses from this year, so I don't think so. Is finishing the only probably the one part that I would probably say changes, that's European football, with the money that would bring in and maybe the opportunity that would give to the players. So maybe European football would change the landscape slightly. Finishing in top 6 probably, it gives the club more revenue coming in, but it probably covers some of the losses we've incurred over the last 12 months, 18 months. We're in a good place, but we should be in a better place. But got to look at where we are here and now. Don't look at what you could have done or what you should have done. So at this point in time, we've got a huge opportunity to pick 3 points up on Saturday, which then, in my opinion, gives us a huge opportunity to jump back into the top 6. It was always the same, to be fair. The last 6-7 games of every 11 games, or the last 6 games of every 11 games, it was probably teams that are in and around where we are in the league. We're fortunate enough to be at the top end of that fixture in terms of where we are in league position, albeit St Mirren. So we've played Hearts, we've played Hibs, we've played Aberdeen, we've played Celtic, we've played Rangers. The teams that I'm speaking about that are in and around their area, they've still got some of the teams to play. So we're in a good place at this point in time. So we can only take one game at a time. Malky's picking points up. The Ross County boys are fighting for their life in terms of they want to try and pick as much points up as they can to make their season a little bit easier. Top 6 is probably a wee bit out of their range at this point in time, but they'll all be about staying in the Premier League, whereas we're still fighting for top 6. So I think the next batch of games, they've come a little bit safer in terms of the opportunity, the opposition taking less chances and playing a wee bit more safer, because there's a lot to play for in the next 5 games for every opponent that we're going to come up against.